Hi everyone, so I'm going to do this live video and I'm going to do it walking, so I might stop and have a bench break, but basically this is, as I said, I'm going to be doing 7 live videos all talking about relationship dilemmas, and today's dilemma is: I keep attracting men who use and abuse me. Why can't I find somebody to treat me right? So if you're tuned in for the very first time, then my name's Marianne and I'm the counsellor at New Journeys Counselling, where I provide counselling to couples. I provide counselling to individuals with relationship issues. I hope you're not getting dizzy with me walking around. I'm going to go and sit on that bench in a minute actually, because this walking idea isn't working. Now, this dilemma, I've decided to talk about this one today because there are lots of women who will say this, you know, some men will say it as well. And what they will say is that, you know, they keep meeting people, they're using the word attract. So the first thing what I want to say is that anytime you use the words, I'm attracting a certain person or I'm attracting behaviour, then you're giving away your power, because what you're saying is that you're doing something to attract that type of person. Now, my feeling is that people choose how they behave. So it's not anything you're doing. So if you've been in lots of abusive relationships, that is not down to, hi, whoever's online, say your name, or just join in. If you decide, if you say that there's something wrong with me and that's why I'm attracting these types of people, you know, I've heard people even say it as well to people. They'll say, you always attract abusive men, or you always attract men who treat you bad. And I just think that's really wrong, because you're putting the blame on that person. They're not going out there and saying they want a man that's going to abuse them. If a man comes into their life and abuses them, then that is down to that man. You know, he's chosen that. So what I would like to say is, how a person chooses to behave and how they choose to treat another human being is down to that person. It's not down to anyone else. They have to take responsibility. Now, I can say that because I've worked at Women's Aid as a counsellor for many years. I was there for 3 years. I've worked with all different types of women from all different backgrounds, in all different social statuses. There's not a particular, you can't be someone that attracts a particular type of man. If you go out there and you put yourself out there and a man then comes along and chooses to use you, abuse you or do whatever, then that's because of his pattern of behaviour, and that's his choice that he's deciding to do that. And he might do that with every single woman he meets. So I think if you as a person, and I've met lots of women, I've counselled and met generally, who kind of take this on board, they'll absorb it, they'll say, I'm not good enough for any other men because every man treats me bad, so therefore I must be doing something wrong, or I must be a bad person. And I just want women not to feel like that, because you're not doing anything wrong, they're doing something wrong, you know, they've chosen what they've decided to do. So what I would say is, don't ever say the words, I am attracting the wrong man, or instead turn that around, because attracting should be a positive thing. You should be saying things like, I will attract the right person for me. I will attract someone who's going to treat me well. Let me just get the light right. Rather than saying, I am attracting the wrong man, because then that's going to keep you stuck in that space. It's going to keep you thinking, well, okay, 3 of my last boyfriends all beat me up, so therefore it's my fault. And the minute you go down that route, it means that when you do meet someone, and maybe you'll meet someone who is actually nice and will treat you well, maybe you'll do things to sabotage that. So first of all, these are the sorts of tips that you can do. I'm not going to make this a long live video today. It's just going to be quite brief. This is day 5 and I've got this is day 6. I've got 1 more to go. Think about what you want. So that's step 1. If you are attracting the wrong type of person and you feel that they're always using you or abusing you in some way, sit down and think about, what type of man do you actually want? This could be men as well, if it's a woman that it happens with. What type of person do you want in your life? Do you actually know? Because that's another thing. If you're just walking around and you're saying, well, I need a partner, but you have no idea of what type of partner you want, you don't have any qualities, any character, you're just going to pick up anyone. And then the point with that is that that relationship will just go in any direction because you've not planned it out of what you need. So, I mean, something I do, I'm single now, but I've been in lots of relationships. I've got my deal breakers, and what that means is if someone hasn't got a good character, I don't care how good looking they are, how much money they've got or anything else, if their character is bad, meaning that they do things which go against my principles and values, or they're just mean to people, or they don't have kindness or spirituality, I don't care, I will not date them, because that's a deal breaker for me. Sit down and think about what it is you want. What type of man do you want? What type of woman do you want? So that you're prepared when that person comes along. The second thing is to take time to work on yourself. You know, this can go on forever, but I think when you've been in lots of abusive relationships, or maybe when you've been used or treated badly, the one thing that I find that people do, and this is some of the women I work with, they'll keep going from relationship to relationship to try and make up for the last one. So what they'll do is, rather than sit down and work on themselves, they'll just go to the next one, because what they want is to, let me just get my piece of paper there, 1 second, because for the third one. What they want is to try and make up for, they almost want to prove something. So if they've had 3 bad relationships, rather than stopping and saying, I'm not going to date someone for a while, I'm going to work on myself and figure out what I want, they'll move on to the next one, and then the next one, and the next one. And if all of those men treat them bad, then they'll come to a conclusion that all men are bad, so I'm not going to date anyone else. And what you should really be doing is, the world is too big for you to sort of think like that, because if you think about it, how many people are on the planet? Even if 10 or 15 or whatever amount of men have treated you, or women treated you badly, you're only looking for one. So there's always going to be one that could treat you well, but you have to do the work on yourself. Take a break, you know, take some time to work on yourself. And the final thing is putting yourself out there. You're not going to find the right type of man or right type of woman if you're going to the wrong places, or if you're, worse than that, if you're not going anywhere, if you're literally, I'm going to stand up because I'm getting a bit, right. You're not going to find the right type of man or the right type of woman if you don't put yourself out there, but also go to the right places. There's no point in going to bars every weekend or going to the clubs and then meeting men who like one night stands with you or whatever, and then saying, oh, all men are like this, that's all any man wants. Go somewhere different, you know, go to the park, go for walks, take your dog for a walk, or just go for a walk. I mean, this is a beautiful park today. I try to go out in nature, or I try and go to places, and I'm getting more confident at just going up and mingling, talking to people. If you don't put yourself out there and you don't open your heart and you don't believe that there are decent men, then you're just going to stick with that belief that I keep attracting the wrong men. And women as well. So what I want to just end by saying is that I'm currently doing therapy for couples and for individuals with relationship problems. You can find my details if you go to NU Journeys Counselling, my Facebook page. You can email nujourneys@yahoo.com. But I'm also in the process of training to be a life coach, and I'm going to be working just with women on self-worth, self-esteem and relationship issues. So look out for more information on that, but you can also still send me an email, but I'll provide all the details. Thank you for watching. So this is day 6. I think I've done quite well because I've done a live video for the last 6 days. Tomorrow is day 7, and I'll still continue to do videos, but I just won't be doing regular lives like this. Thank you whoever's online and been watching. I hope you found this useful, and take care. Have a fantastic Saturday. Bye.